Alright, we're back out in the garage today. Got another project we're going to be working on. I got this cable, and this is going to run the chute. We're going to mount it here. We're going to build a bracket to hold it, and it's going to operate that chute so we don't have to get off the tractor. So, because that cable doesn't come with a mounting bracket, we're going to have to build one. I've got some flat stock laying around, and I put it in my Fisher-Price vise. And I was able to come up with this type of a design for a mounting bracket. We're going to utilize this here, which is for the attachment for my 45 loader. So if you don't have a 45 loader on your John Deere X585, then you're not going to be able to utilize this. So we're going to have to weld some type of a mounting plate on here. We're also going to have to weld a tab here, and then I'm thinking maybe another tab about midway to hold that side of the bracket. You'll see what that looks like in a second. The cable that I bought is just a universal cable that I got off Amazon. The link's down in the description if you're interested. It's a tad bit long, but I think it's going to work out okay, especially once the chute swivels, and I think it'll be alright. Alright, this is the cable. We've got the one end that has got this kind of slides back and forth to move the chute. This comes with a beautiful mounting bracket, and I don't know why this side didn't. But anyway, this side doesn't have a mounting bracket. It's about 5/8 diameter, and this just pulls out and pushes in. You can turn it, quarter turn it, it'll lock, keep that chute from moving up and down. I'm going to take that same flat stock I'm going to make the bracket out of, and I've already started laying out some tabs. So we'll go ahead and get that made up, and then I think we're going to have to get the welder out again. This will be the second job for that welder. This is going to be some thicker stuff. It's 3/16 is what it says on the tag, so be a good test for that little titanium 110 welder. We've got to make a few tabs that we can weld onto that bracket, and like I said, that diameter is 5/8, and I don't have a 5/8 drill bit, so I'm going to just cut these out. I think I'm going to use this step bit, and it looks like about halfway is 5/8, so I'm going to drill a hole here, and then I'm going to drill a hole there or here, and then what I'll do is I'll just take a jigsaw and square that out so that the cable will fit in there, and then we'll get those welded on. So see how this works out. Alright, I've got some parts made up. This is going to be my bracket. I'm going to weld this piece on the bottom. It's going to give me my two mounting holes, and then I've got my two tabs right here. This one will get welded up here at the top, and then this one will get welded down here at the bottom as just kind of a support piece. That's why it's notched out, and hopefully that works. Hopefully that works pretty decent. So now I've got to get the welder out and get everything welded up. Alright, so this is 3/16 steel. I got a 110 welder over here that says I can't weld 3/16 steel with this. So I have no choice. I don't have a 220 outlet, so I'm gonna see what I can do here. It's not gonna be pretty. Alright, I think it's gonna be doable. That actually went pretty well. All right, it's doing it. It's not great, but it's doing it, so that's a good thing. My prep leaves a little bit to be desired too, but you all can yell at me for that later. All right. So the welder doesn't have a setting for 110 power for 3/16 steel. So I just kind of made up my own setting and seemed to work okay. I mean, the welds aren't perfect, but I think they're going to do. They'll do for what this project is. So. All right, good to go with the welding. I'll get it ground, I'll get everything cleaned up, and then we'll go fit it onto the tractor. All right, guys, I got everything all cleaned up with the grinder, and hit it really quick with a can of primer, and I'm gonna go let that dry, and I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat, and when we come back, we'll go ahead and get that mounted on the tractor, and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. All right, we're back from lunch, and I've got the bracket kind of temporarily clamped to the tractor, kind of give you a sense of what it's going to look like. I'm going to run a couple of screws in there for now. I want to come up with I want to drill and tap it to like a 5/16 bolt, but I don't have a drill, or I do have the drill. I don't have a 5/16 tap, and I don't have a 5/16 bolt. So for today, it's going to be temporary permanent. It's only got to last till the end of winter, and then I got to do a lot of maintenance on this tractor, and I'll repaint the bracket, drill out the holes, thread this steel, so that next year we are 100%. But for today, I've got some pretty decent tech screws I'm going to try to run in there and see if we can't do that right now. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get the cable mounted in here. Alright, now this side should be fairly easy. We've got two holes here that match the two holes on the bracket, and then we've got one hole up here that will work for that. So it's just a matter of putting all the bolts in. I've got some stainless steel hardware that we're going to use, so it should be pretty easy. So as you can see, this cable's a little bit long, but that's not necessarily a bad thing for me. I'm just going to leave it bundled with those hoses over there, and I'll just zip tie it, and we'll see how it works. But this will give us plenty of room for the chute to swivel, and shouldn't cause any binding or anything. So we'll see how that works out. Alright, let's see how it works. I just left the zip tie over there loose, so it's got plenty of slack for it to move around. Alright, so everything's working good. I think having the longer cable is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it just loops across the front of the tractor. It's really not hurting anything. The bracket seems to work well. I'm gonna eventually paint it green, and like I said, I'm going to do a better job with the bolts. The other thing I may do, I'm going to run with it for a little bit though and see. I may weld the brace from here to there, kind of maybe get rid of some of that movement, but overall it works really well, and I'm pretty happy with it. When I had the owner's manual out, it said 2009, so I've had this snowblower since 2009, and I've always had to manually raise and lower the chute, so this is a new thing for me. So I kind of like it, and the bracket seems to work well, and the cable's working well. Like I said before, this summer we're going to do a major maintenance work on the snowblower. It needs to be degreased. We're going to adjust the chain, even though I do it every year. We'll get everything cleaned up, lubricated. I've got to buy some more shear pins just to have on hand. We're going to power wash it, get it all cleaned up, scraped. We'll take some rust converter and spray on any rusted areas, and then I'm going to get some yellow John Deere paint, and we're going to give it a paint. So we also have another video coming out soon. We've got to address some rust. We've got running boards that are rusted on both sides, here and over there. These plastic pieces will pop off, and then I'm going to just sand this rust down, hit it with some rust converter, and then we'll repaint the running board. So that'll be another video. And then we're going to do our annual service in the spring. I usually bring it in the garage. We'll change the oil, filters, just give it a little once over and get it ready for summer. And then we've got to put some new blades on the mowing deck this year. I've had those for about 5 years. I've sharpened them, and I think this year I'm just going to buy some new blades to start over again. So we've got a couple more videos coming out with doing some work on the John Deere, and I hope this one, hope you enjoyed this one a little bit. It's going to be kind of nice for me to be able to have this adjustment on the snowblower that I never had before. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, all that stuff, and until next time.